Maria's hands trembled as she smoothed out her thrift store dress in front of the cafe's glass door. She hadn't been on a date in years, not since her husband walked out on her, leaving her with nothing but unpaid bills and a toddler to raise alone. Tonight was supposed to be her first real step back into the world. A blind date. She wanted to look like she had her life together, like she wasn't barely scraping by on 2 part-time jobs. But plans never seemed to go the way she imagined. Because standing next to her, tugging at her hand with wide, curious eyes, was her 7-year-old son, Ethan. The babysitter had cancelled at the last minute, and Maria had 2 choices: cancel the date, or show up with her son. She chose to come. Not because she thought it would impress anyone, but because she was tired of canceling life. Still, she rehearsed in her mind how she'd apologize. "I'm sorry, I know this is awkward. I'll pay for our coffee and we'll leave right away." She expected rolled eyes, maybe a quick excuse to leave. But when she walked in and spotted her date at the corner table, a tall man in a crisp button-down shirt, his posture confident yet relaxed, her breath caught. He looked exactly like the type of man who didn't belong in her world. Successful. Polished. Like he had everything figured out. "Hi. I'm Maria," she said nervously, guiding Ethan forward. "And this is my son. I'm so sorry. My sitter cancelled, and I didn't want to stand you up." The man stood, and instead of looking annoyed, he crouched down to Ethan's level. "Hey, buddy. I'm Daniel," he said with a warm smile. "You like hot chocolate?" Ethan's eyes lit up instantly. "With marshmallows?" Daniel chuckled. "Of course, with marshmallows." Maria blinked in disbelief. She had prepared for rejection, but instead, Daniel was kind. He didn't flinch at the sight of her son. He didn't sigh in frustration. He ordered hot chocolate for Ethan and coffee for them both. For the first few minutes, Maria could hardly focus. She kept waiting for the catch, for Daniel to excuse himself, to glance at his watch, to tell her it wasn't going to work. Instead, he asked her about her life, her work, her dreams. She kept her answers light, not wanting to unload the reality of overdue rent and exhaustion. But at one point, Ethan tugged her sleeve and blurted, "Mom works at 2 jobs, but she still makes me pancakes on Saturdays." Maria flushed red with embarrassment. But Daniel didn't laugh or look uncomfortable. His expression softened. "That sounds like a pretty amazing mom," he said gently. The conversation flowed easier after that. Maria found herself laughing, really laughing, for the first time in ages. Daniel was sharp but not arrogant, kind without being patronizing. Halfway through the evening, Ethan grew restless and began drawing with crayons the cafe staff had given him. Maria leaned in, her voice dropping. "I really am sorry. I didn't mean to bring my son into this. You probably expected something different." Daniel paused, then shook his head with a small smile. "No, Maria. This," he gestured toward Ethan, "tells me more about you than any blind date could. You showed up even when life got messy. That says strength. And bringing him along? That shows you're not just dating for yourself. You're thinking about what's best for him, too." Maria swallowed hard, the sincerity in his words hitting her like a wave. No one had ever said that to her before. The evening stretched longer than she expected. Ethan eventually leaned against her shoulder, dozing off. Daniel offered to walk them to their car. When Maria awkwardly fumbled for her keys, Daniel reached out, steadying her. "Maria," he said softly, "I need to tell you something. I wasn't completely honest about what I do. I said I work in business, but the truth is," he hesitated, then looked her in the eye. "I'm a CEO." Maria froze. For a moment, she thought he was joking. A CEO? That explained the confidence, the polish. her stomach twisted. He belonged to a world of private schools, luxury vacations, and 5-course dinners. And she clipped coupons. "You don't have to say anything," she whispered, fighting back the sting of tears. "I get it now. Thank you for tonight, but I know this isn't your world. And she glanced at Ethan, "I come with responsibility." Daniel surprised her by taking her hand. "Maria, don't apologize. Do you know what I see? I see a woman who's stronger than most executives I've met in boardrooms. I see someone who doesn't give up, even when life keeps throwing obstacles her way. That's the kind of person I want to know. And if you'll let me, the kind of person I'd like to walk beside." Maria's breath hitched. For years, she had carried the weight of doing it all alone. To hear someone not just accept her struggles but admire her for them, it was overwhelming. The next few weeks became a whirlwind of small, unexpected joys. Daniel didn't just take Maria on dinners, he joined her and Ethan for park picnics, board games, and Saturday pancakes. He listened more than he spoke, and when he did speak, it was with genuine kindness. But what struck Maria most was how he treated Ethan, not as an inconvenience, not as baggage, but as a person. He taught Ethan how to play chess, cheered him on at his Little League game, and even showed up at school with Maria for Ethan's Bring Someone Special Day. One evening, as they sat together on Maria's worn-out couch with Ethan asleep nearby, Maria turned to Daniel. "Why me?" she asked quietly. "You could have anyone. Someone without all this." Daniel smiled and brushed a strand of hair from her face. "Because anyone can shine when life is easy. But it takes someone truly remarkable to shine when it's hard. Maria, you've been shining all along. You just don't see it." Tears filled her eyes, but this time, they weren't from pain, they were from gratitude. In that moment, Maria realized something profound. Kindness doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes, it's in a smile, in showing up, in seeing someone's worth when the world overlooks them. And as Daniel held her hand, she knew her story wasn't one of brokenness anymore. It was one of resilience, love, and second chances. Because sometimes, when life feels like it's crumbling, the universe sends someone who looks past the chaos and says, "You're enough, just as you are."